am an innocent man, and I'll stand for my innocence until the day I go out. And that is still a situation where I fight. There's a reason it didn't go where it went, and it went to a civil trial. It is what it is. It stings deep. I continue to fight. I know the truth, and I know that lying lips are an abomination to the Lord. And I know that anything done in darkness will soon come to light. And I trust in God that it's coming. You best believe it's coming. And I look very, very forward to the day.
Max Holloway has also been training with JDM, who's a welterweight himself. What are your thoughts on him choosing JDM as a training partner to emulate you?
That's not going to cut it. Not bad choice. Why not? I seen the little Pitty Pat Mickey Mouse Club training. It looks like a teen amateur fucking... It's not on the level. It's not going to cut it for the ferocity that will be before him in the octagon, as well as the array of weaponry. So there you go. Both can get it.
I'm going to go in there and put pause on him. You know, I'm going to make him wish that he didn't come back. Actually, no, I'm not going to make him wish that. I'm going to make him think that he can do it one more time, so we can rematch at the end of the year.
Max, down here to your left, dead here to your left here. You can't see me. Anyway, I feel like the consensus among most MMA fans, given Conor's layoff, is that you should walk right through him, particularly with your volume heavy style. How is it competing with the pressure of being the one who should come out with the victory?
I mean, that's crazy talk, right? A lot of people, a lot of fans is counting Conor out, which is crazy. I mean, a lot of people count Justin Gaethje out. I mean, this is different. This is different situations, right? But this guy has unlimited money. You know what I mean? He has a lot of connections. He's coming back from a crazy injury. He supposedly found God. His kids is going to be here at the fights. I saw Tim Grover in a picture with him. I don't know if that's the coach now, but he's doing all the right things. You know what I mean? So I'm getting ready for the most dangerous Conor McGregor we ever saw. And nobody's telling me otherwise, because once you start overlooking people, things don't go too well for you. I feel good. Strength, cardio, movement, everything that you said. I feel great. I know you guys been following me on media and seeing what I've been doing. We bring in the former 170 champion Jack Della. Had great looks, had great training. We was only supposed to train together for a week. We loved it so much. He ended up staying for a second week, and I think so. Bringing him in was huge. You know, it was good fun, and we'll get to find out Saturday night. It's gonna be fun.
It is what it is. Not want to be anywhere inside that octagon with me. I am dangerous everywhere.
You know, I know he's planning on deep waters. It's almost a bit disrespectful. I'm not sure who he thinks he's talking about here.
We drown him. We're gonna give him an old Hawaii-style beating.
I have many things that I've taken in this camp that have been fuel to my fire. One, the greatest featherweight of all time, or this ranking system of the greatest featherweights, that I've beaten these men and hadn't been in the list. How have I beaten these men easily and handily, and yet be kept from the list?
One of the reasons I think that you aren't in those conversations is not because your performance has lacked anything. It's just there was a lack of performances. There was inactivity, and I think obviously...
Well, yeah, that's a fair shout for sure, and I understand why. I understand the whys of it. It was not me. It was a fighter pulling out, or things of that nature that kind of led to it. So I understand it. However, I don't agree with it. You cannot get caught in all of this. What is the skill? Who is the best? Who is the greatest? Who is the best? And it is me. And the results show this. I am the greatest featherweight since Bruce Lee. And on Saturday night I will show it. Fight week, I won't be getting on a therapist's chair on fight week, do you get me? So I need to keep that fire and that venom. Literally, that is what it will be. It will be venomous inside this octagon. And, I'm an open book. What you see is what you get with me. I always try and speak my truth.
Before their rematch, Conor McGregor gives Max Holloway one more message as fight night approaches. He gives a clear warning. When the cage door closes, there won't be a cozy spot to hide.
It's going to be a good belt. Tune in.
29, the Mac is back. I'm coming in hot, fast and heavy and ferocious. You don't want to miss it.
Instead of disregarding Conor McGregor's warning, Max Holloway chooses to show respect. According to Kosiaway, McGregor is a true-born fighter, and his time away from the sport probably gave him a chance to fully recover from previous injuries and start over in competition.
He's a fighter. He's made for this, and I'm excited that I'm the person that's welcoming him back to the octagon. A dangerous Conor McGregor. I mean, everybody keep talking about how he's been away for 5 years, and that's a bad thing. Man, that might actually be a great thing. Get your body, get to reset. The man got a lot of money. I'm sure he's doing the right things at the right time. I know we saw a lot of bad media stuff on him, but that they're not following him around 24/7, so you don't know what he's doing every second. And I can I can compare it to that, not in the craziest way, but I play video games and everybody thinks, I play video games for 2 hours that I need to go train. I'm like, bro, come on. But at the end of the day, I think there's two sides to the story, and I think I'm gonna see the best Conor McGregor there is, man.
Conor McGregor genuinely compliments Max Holloway on the bout, calling him a gifted opponent and a potential Hall of Famer. McGregor is adamant that his skill set is superior to his opponents, but he still has faith in his own talents.
You're going to see mastery, a master at the martial arts at work. Yes, Holloway fought Volkanovski 3 times. I watched some of the bouts. I watched the bouts at the time, and then I watched the most recent one only the other day. I've taken some good things from it for sure. So there you go, two good fighters, 2 lesser fighters to the Mac, and I'm going to prove that here on Saturday.
According to Michael Bisping, Max Holloway is one of the most dangerous opponents Conor McGregor might see upon his octagon comeback. A clash between Holloway and McGregor is very difficult to forecast, according to Bisping, who stresses a significant feature of Holloway's previous performances, specifically his victory against Justin Gaethje.
Where Conor's been away. Max Holloway has been fighting the very best talent that is available, the best fighters in the world, and oftentimes beating them. Like, for example, his last fight, or his last victory should I say, was against Dustin Poirier, the man that beat Conor not once but twice in a row. Yes, for the BMF, he lost his BMF belt, which he took off Dustin Poirier, but he lost that to Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira took him down, okay, as simple as that. Took him down, took his back, right, tried to choke him out. No shame in that, but Conor McGregor isn't going to do that. He hasn't not got that kind of...
When considering the wider picture, Cody Garbrandt praises McGregor's overall influence on the sport and the sincere resolve behind his return at this point in his career. He argues that McGregor's desire to return to the cage says volumes about his love for the sport rather than any need to prove himself or seek more validation, pointing out that McGregor has already guaranteed his name and legacy numerous times. This is an optimistic view.
Like I said, I love a good comeback story. He's done so much in the sport, for the sport, catapulted to the next level. And just to show how obsessed he is and determined he is to come back, and that he loves the sport. He doesn't have to do this. He doesn't have to come and fight. He doesn't have to do this. He's got a legacy. He's got the money. He's got the fame. He could ride off into the sunset. But for him, he's wants to prove to himself that he can still do.
Conor McGregor admitted that fight week is mentally and physically demanding, but said he stays focused by channeling that energy into preparation, keeping his mindset locked on performing at his best inside the octagon.
And God willing, I'm back here next week and the week after. How many weeks is in a year? 54. There you go. I could fight every week if it's a go. Before the injury, I had maybe 3 within the year. People don't recall that. And yeah, no, there you go. I plan on getting busy here. The arena, right? I'm the one that's making the walk, so I'm the one who's pushing for it and campaigning for it. I'm sure that is the case. Now I've said my piece with the Ultimate Fighting Championship and their staging of my bouts, and they've said their piece, and it's kind of fallen on, let's let it happen on Saturday night and let's talk. And I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely...
On how to approach camp mentally, Conor claims that while maintaining the venom and fury necessary to give his best performance, he wants to remain transparent with others. He says he feels like he's in a flow condition going into the battle, characterizing it as a balance between intense attention and true delight.
I know you've talked about this before, that it is taxing, it is exhausting, but you're used to it, but now here you are and you're in it, and you had lived such a crazy experience, a unique experience that people want to hear about it. How much of yourself do you want to share at this point in your career?
Well, it's fight week. I won't be getting on a therapist's chair on fight week, do you get me? Yeah. So I need to keep that fire and that venom. Literally, that is what it will be. It will be venomous inside this octagon. And You know, I'm an open book. What you see is what you get with me. I always try and speak my truth, and, you know, at the best of me, I try and encourage others and inspire others and motivate others, and that's kind of what I'll do, you know, without getting too much into anything soppy or anything, you know. I'll keep that fire.
Dominic Cruz questioned the reasoning behind the matchup, suggesting Conor McGregor's influence helped shape the fight's terms. He also believes the move to 170 pounds could give McGregor a significant advantage over Max Holloway.
We have never seen Max Holloway fight there. Why would Conor use his platform if he can't get the venue? He's got to get something right. So he's going to make it at his weight class. Rather than fighting him at Max's true weight class, where we know we would see the best Max, Conor's going to move him up to a weight class he's never fought in. I mean, to me, it's like, okay, I get it, but why is that? Well, we've heard him admit it. I had to use juice. The doctors prescribed it to me to heal my bone. My bone was broken.
Dominic Cruz noted that stars like Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, and Jake Paul have the drawing power to negotiate favorable terms, arguing that business value now plays a bigger role alongside rankings when major fights are made. Cruz offers personal insight into what it truly takes to make a comeback like this during his championship career by relying on his own past.
Max advantages by taking away his speed. He doesn't possess the same power as Conor. We saw that in their first fight. He just doesn't. He's an accumulative puncher. He throws punches in bunches. He throws combinations. He flows. He moves. He uses his footwork. He's quick. He's rhythmic. Conor is a counter fighter with rhythm and timing, but he's got big power. When you make this fight at 170, you take away Max's speed. You take away all his best advantages. When you watched him versus Calvin Kattar, that was the best version of Max, I think.
Regarding legacy, McGregor claims to be the greatest featherweight of all time and shows sensory judgments at being unfairly excluded from some ranking discussions. He sees the bout with Holloway as the ideal opportunity to finally resolve that dispute and remind everyone of his level of skill.
When I came back for one of my fights, I had broken my ulna, which is a bone in my left forearm, and it snapped in half, and the doctors told me there's a 20% chance of a non-union. And I actually had a non-union take place. So they didn't put a plate in there. They didn't heal it. They said just let it heal for 3 months. So I went 3 months with the broken forearm, just trying to hope it would heal without any training, without anything, because it just you just hope that the bone grows back together. After the 3 months was over, I went to the doctor and they said, oh, well, you do have a non-union. It did not heal together. So now after this 3 months of you sitting around, we have to go in and put a plate in there. So that was devastating.
Michael Bisping believes the move to 170 pounds is a key factor that could change the dynamics of a McGregor-Holloway rematch. While praising Max Holloway's proven ability, he noted that the size and power difference makes the fight difficult to predict.
I have many things that I've taken in this camp that have been fuel to my fire. One, the greatest featherweight of all time, or, you know, this ranking system of the greatest featherweights, that I've beaten these men and hadn't been in the list. How have I beaten these men easily and handily, and yet be kept from the list? You know, all things. Who's the greatest featherweight? Who, you know, what's my skill level? Max, and that's why I love Max as an opponent. He's fought so many people, and he's a very impressive body of work inside the octagon. He's for sure a future Hall of Famer, and you know, now I get to go in and show.
Regarding the cardiac concern, before this fight, Bisping cites McGregor's well-documented habit of fading in later rounds as a recurrent concern, describing it as one of the most persistent themes throughout his career. He contends that the physical and metabolic demands of a lengthier fight should ultimately work in Holloway's benefit if he can withstand McGregor's early assault and prolong the fight till the championship rounds.
Max Holloway is that this fight is at 170 pounds. And one thing that Conor McGregor has always had is explosive knockout power. Knocked out Jose Aldo with pretty much the first punch. 13 seconds is all it took. Knocked out Eddie Alvarez in stunning fashion. Out of his entire career with Conor McGregor, I'm just scrolling down his Wikipedia page. There's a lot of stuff on here. Normally I would be there by now, but I'm nowhere near it. My God, we're going through all the pay-per-views. Right, here we are. 22 wins, 6 losses, 19 wins by way of knockout. So that's a crazy knockout ratio. Donald Cerrone, 40 seconds. Eddie Alvarez, Nate Diaz, well, that was a decision, wasn't it? After getting beaten and choked out by Nate Diaz in the first one. Jose Aldo, Chad Mendes, Dennis Silva, Dustin Poirier the first time before, Diego Brandao, Max Holloway, which was the only time he went to a decision by.
In his analysis of the match, Chael's son acknowledges that he actually finds it difficult to envision McGregor defeating Holloway, calling it one of the more difficult scenarios. He asserts unequivocally that McGregor has no genuine chance of winning by decision, submission, or putting on a long-distance performance, arguing that Holloway's experience, toughness, and championship-level poise offer him a distinct advantage in such situations.
The first round, and it goes to the second and the third round. Conor McGregor was never a cardio machine. He was always a guy that tended to fade in the prime of his career. And if he struggled going into the later rounds in the prime of his career when he was coming up, he's certainly going to struggle now when the man's pushing 40 and he hasn't fought in 5 years. Has he trained hard for this fight? Of course he has, 100%. Has he pushed himself harder than what he was doing in 2013, 14, 15? I don't know. I don't know if that's even possible. When you have accumulated all the wealth, when you've knocked it out the park, when you've conquered the game already, do you still have to train quite as hard, right? Because if he has done, then maybe. But even when he was, because he had to have been back in the day, he still got tired the longer the fight.
Chael thinks McGregor will be ready for Holloway's custom of pointing to the middle of the cage this time. Chael believes McGregor would actually beat him to it rather than just comply, citing the center as a means of taking charge of the story and setting the tone right away.
I'm going to trade with Conor, and Conor's faster than Justin. That's interesting. It really is. I can't see through the forest. I can't see a way for Conor to get the jump on Max. I'm trying to make one. I can tell you a whole lot of things that he can't do. I can tell you a whole bunch of things that Conor cannot do. But I'm trying to find the one thing that he can. I mean, I would tell you as clearly as I know how to stake a reputation. He cannot win a decision. I'm not telling you that he won't. It's very different words. I'm not saying to you Conor McGregor won't win if it goes to a decision. I'm telling you he...
Chael Sonnen believes Conor McGregor knows he must finish the fight early to maximize his chances. He expects McGregor to match Max Holloway's intensity and deliver the statement performance fans have been waiting for since his comeback was announced.
Everybody else. So are your only two options that you either oblige or you don't? No, but that's how we see it. He's a smarter, more calculated entertainer. So he would have a third answer. But most likely, Conor's going to point down himself. Most likely, the great orchestrator, the great fighter, and the great entertainer, Conor McGregor, who knows that this is something that Max does and wants to do and gets attention in the headlines for. Most likely, Conor already has a plan for that.
Conor McGregor says he feels comfortable at welterweight, insisting the added size hasn't affected his speed or movement. He believes he's entering camp in peak condition and considers this version of himself stronger and more confident than before.
What I just said's true. He's not going to see a fifth round. He's not going to see a fourth round. He's not going to be on his back using his rubber guard. He's going to have to get Max out with his hands, and he's going to have to get him out of there sooner rather than later. I think it's a very realistic prediction that Conor flips the script on Max. Conor walks out, Conor points down, and these guys have exactly the kind of fight that you fantasize they would have.
Bedtime MMA provides a thorough analysis of the McGregor-Holloway bout on the main event, discussing how the switch to 170 pounds would alter the two fighters' dynamic. They also consider how much McGregor's style has changed since his early days in the UFC and assess each fighter's true advantages going into fight night.
You get what I'm saying? I beat these men handily, absolutely easily, and yet I go on my career and you listen to this, that these men are better than me in the featherweight division, even though I beat them. So, you know, that was motivation for me in the camp, fuel for me in this camp, for sure. I'm excited to compete here at welterweight also. You know, I feel good at this weight. I've had some excellent performances in the welterweight division. Saturday night's going to be another one. Look, styles make fights. It's not a good matchup for him. It's not a good matchup for him. He's a good fighter. He's not a bad fighter. He's not on the level of the Max.
70 does favor Conor. I feel like overall, I mean, it's so difficult coming off a huge layoff to fight. I mean, I can't even imagine. I've never taken that long of a 5-year layoff, you know what I mean? Like,
and a career-ending injury.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what he looks like or feels like. You know, we don't know, and I think that's part of like the selling point of the fight, right? It's like, what's gonna happen? Like, is he gonna show up and be in his prime? You know what I mean? Is he gonna show up and look washed? You know what I mean? I would find it really depressing if Conor just shows up really washed. I hope that he shows up and, like, even if he loses, like, he looks good, and then maybe slows down a little bit. I'd be like, all right, cool, this is cool. We can do something with this.
That's like a win, I feel, right? Like, he goes out there, has a couple of good moments, maybe puts Max in trouble a little.
That's our full breakdown of Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. Who do you think wins this highly anticipated showdown, and how do you see the fight ending? Share your prediction in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more UFC news, analysis, and fight breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.